Howdy-yo, everyone. Velocity here, back in action for more Defense Attraction. That's right, we're playing the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. And we are currently defending the defendant here, who happens to be the Reaper. And honestly, fam, it's looking real bad for him. He's got quite a thing against him, y'all. With that being said, the defendant may step down for the witness stand. Certainly, my lord. That's a lot of witnesses. So, witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court.
Names? We don't use names. Oh, too fancy for the likes of us.
We're just free and easy. Sell what we like. Live where we want to live.
I give them all they could stare as they walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them.
Would I be right in assuming that all three of you make your living by selling wares on the streets?
Everyone calls me Gospel. I sell jolly little tidbits to passerbys, you know.
Jaunty little tidbits?
An absolute smash boy, sir. Right on, boy, you get on this. 16 pence is a price and not penniless.
Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now?
Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested.
Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is. Pay the man, consul. Alright. 6 pence it is.
You want ready, sir? Got your listening ears on? Just between us, young couple on the street have just had twins.
Is that it?
No, that's not it. It's gossip, isn't it? What doesn't want to spread? That spits up to you and your mouth, of course. More you know. Want another juicy one? 16 pence a piece it is, if you're curious.
I am curious, yes. But what's going on just under the fat bottom lip of yours? Name the unusual bruise or whatever it is that poking out from under your collar. What about the next witness then? What name do you go by? And what do you sell?
Me? I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, isn't it? I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. 16 pence a pop, what do you say?
I love her. You're exaggerating with little. Do they actually sell?
Oh yes, the second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Specifically when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school.
Not the most savory of ideas, young lady.
What do you say then? One pie with 6 pence for a pop.
Wait, what? You want me to buy one?
Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom.
Try the woman. Give her the money and see if she's right.
Pay the woman, consul.
Alright, I'll buy one.
Lovely stuff, right then. There's something a bit extra just for you. The Venus Special, only 600 pence.
600?
It's 100 of my regular fireworks, nothing little about that, is there?
There'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey either. And the last witness. What name do you go by? And what do you sell?
Think of me. Think also not. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think. As I stand there on the street, watching the world go on about me, they call me an observer.
Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich, and you know it.
So you don't actually sell anything.
Problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and think what it means. I don't actually sell anything, no. Come to think of it.
Pity. No more purchases today, please.
Well, we have quite a cast here, it seems.
They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. Always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see. And thus they heard the gunshot, I suppose.
Not only that, but they were very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witnessed the crime.
Oh, the bucket, I thought, just between us. I finished the meal. Oh, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw.
What I think is, what we would see is light and shadow, but we play with our eyes. Is any of it real?
Is he mentioning the cave problem?
Very well. The court will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now. You will describe in detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
The witness's account.
We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Everything from the moment they went in the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to look. Gossip, I can't wait to go and see what had happened.
I ran into a room, and there we was, the Reaper, gun in hand, standing over the dead body. I was scared I happened to death, ye. I saw him run off to find a copper.
These witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything. What did they see going inside the building? Only the victim, Inspector Grayson, and the accused, Rock Von Zeeks.
I've seen pictures of the Reaper in the paper. I know what it looks like. Just between us, look, I love stories like this. I'm making myself a tidy sum already.
Wait, the room was just one of the several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it. All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied.
Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot.
The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. We know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hughesbone.
The testimony the court has just heard would appear to leave a little room for doubt. Becoming increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the defendant could have committed the crime.
No!
Thank you for your candor, my lord.
Counsel for the defense, you may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses.
Yes, my lord. Closed court like this without a jury. The judge is the only person whose opinion matters. We have to bring down this testimony. Somehow. The witness's account. Okay, you saw the whole thing? I don't think you did, bud. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Grayson and the defendant, Lord Van Zeeks?
Suppose so. The likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last. That's for sure and certain.
Just behind Inspector Grayson? Did they arrive at the same time as each other?
No, not like that. The first fellow must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard the gunshot.
The victim arrived 15 minutes before? Are you sure about that?
Am I sure? Am I sure? Does it seem likely that I have forgotten a fellow with bright red hair like that, does it?
Yeah, his hair really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even.
The fiery red bob's still burnt. On the inside of my eyelids it is.
Wait a minute. You're saying the man was a redhead?
Weren't you listening, chum? Aye, he was a redhead, and he had a big trunk with him as well.
But Inspector Grayson's hair isn't red. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Seems likely the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Grayson at all. It's some other third party. No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct. What? Just have a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene. Yes, that's Inspector Grayson, all right.
And a red hairpiece?
Ah!
Of course! We saw one of the four when we were investigating the scene, didn't we?
I still refuse to believe Inspector Grayson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that?
The color does seem to suit the man, one might say. The photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, Counsel.
And what became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying? I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene. So it just disappeared?
What, do you expect us to have been watching the building every second, do you?
I definitely saw him in the door going in, though. No question about that.
I love her animation. It's so cute. It's so cute. She's the cutest character to me. I hope she ends up being a heavy. By which presumably you mean the gunshot?
I saw these little things, don't I? Now would I know what a gunshot sounds like? I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it?
You say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant here enter the building.
That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang! It went just like that.
Well, he's the Reaper, isn't he? It's what the French call fait accompli. When the Reaper's around, people are going in on the ground. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it?
I think we get the message. The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he discovered his secret hideout. There could only be no clearer motive for the crime. Yes. Certainly an intimately credible motive. Great. At that point, he ran inside. Is that correct? Can't wait to go and see what happened. Okay. Ran into the room and there he was, the Reaper, standing over his body. I was scared to death. She ran off. I don't think that's how it went. So you didn't run into the room with your friends?
I'm not that sort of girl.
Sorry?
I'm a timid little thing, me. And I was too scared to go in there.
Ah, right. I see.
Oh, Libby and the witch ran in there, and then I heard a sort of old lady scream.
Well, that wasn't me, I swear. If I were a gentleman, I'd stack my honor on it.
I wonder what on earth was going on.
Just when you went to find a policeman?
I ran into a copper as soon as I turned the corner. So I brought him straight to the place. Didn't I do well?
Just between us, that copper's eyes nearly popped out of his head when we saw the Reaper.
I've never felt more uncomfortable in all my life.
The defender was arrested on the spot, I believe. It's in the catalog of killings the Reaper had carried out. It was a particularly inconspicuous end. I can't find any holes in this testimony. I'm afraid the judge will give a ruling of guilty, Mr. Naruto. The truth is, though, their combined testimony is fairly damning. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any obvious problems with their statements, do there? Still, Lord Van Zieks really is innocent. I'm almost certain I will find something in there that doesn't quite add up. You don't think that one of these three could be the true culprit, do you? I don't know. But what I do know is that there's more to this case that has yet to be brought to light. Okay, saw the whole thing. That happens. He ran into the room. What did you see? Fred? So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene? Is that right?
No, I was. Kicked the door open like a professional. I did. And yelled out, well, what's going on here?
Lord Van Zieks claims all he heard was a man scream, though. And was it dark inside the room?
No, not at all. Not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall.
Really?
There was a fair little collapse on the floor. Just between us. It's the first thing I noticed when I got inside.
I see. Even though Lord Van Zieks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall.
Next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body.
The accused, Barak Van Zieks.
That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was a little shocked, I wouldn't deny. But I'm not Lily-liver coward. I stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold, hard stare at myself.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich?
There's really nothing to me. Empty in the head I am. Just 2 slices with no middle. So I don't know what you could want with me.
I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean.
What I think is, we're all nothing really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers.
That's not enough out of your Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now.
Unless your want is to make you into a real sandwich. When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside.
That's it?
Oh, you rotten bug! I told you to keep that a secret. He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off to all fours. And that's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Gossip, is that true?
The floor was deep and slippery. That's why. I planted my hand on a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck.
What? Pool blood?
Well, listen here. Even when I was sprawled on the floor, I still kept giving the Reaper a cold, hard stare. And don't you forget it.
Let's just go back a little. Did you just say you got blood on your hand?
I did. It happens to the best of us at times, doesn't it? So I was scared, so I slipped over. Now we can keep it just between us, can't we?
No, Mr. Gossip. I'd have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
If I must. The witness will amend his testimony to include the aforementioned details at once.
Flipped over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off the floor. Wiped it off the floor? You wiped your hand on the floor?
Well, what's blood on his hand, huh? The horrible stuff, and they might have thought I'd done it. Not I.
And you didn't think that might be a problem?
Doesn't really matter if I left a few crummy handprints on the floor. They'll get cleaned up in the end, won't they? Don't make such a fuss. That's the message from all of us. Is something wrong, Consul?
No, my lord. I didn't remember anything in the report about a bloody handprint on the floor. That's all.
Don't come at me with all that. You can't intimidate me. I know what I did. I wiped it off. On the floor, the blood.
I wonder, could that be what happened? Mr. Nanado? I don't have any answers yet. I think we may have just uncovered a vital clue. Okay, a pool of blood. There is a pool of blood here. But it's not there. A plant in a small room. It couldn't be. I spilled over and got blood on my hand, so I quickly wiped it off. There is a pool of blood, so he's not wrong on that end. Can I do anything else here? Am I not able to look at it? Why am I not able to look at it? Like, I have it like in a 3D effect and I can't? Yeah, that's kind of wild. Okay. What's here? There are details of the whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there? Paper from 10 years ago is browning with age. Look! Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here. Oh, it's the same red-headed League advertisement that Mr. Shlomes had picked out. Do you remember? There was a red hairpiece at the scene too. Was Inspector Grayson an exponent of the red-headed League then? Oh, I should go back. There is, right here. Oh, what's this? Mr. Nanado, look! Ah, yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint? And the color! That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing. There we go. We found it. We found what we need to be doing. I mean, he did get blood on his hand, but not this kind.
Objection!
So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room? Are you quite sure about that?
Well, Well, what else do you expect me to have done it? Doesn't really matter.
Objection!
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigation. What exactly is the defense asserting? If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Osagi. Certainly there was no bloody handprint found on the floor. What are you trying to say? There was a handprint in blood, left very clearly at the scene. On the back of this notice board. Oh, yes, indeed. Indisputably a handprint of the distinctive color of blood. Oh, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I know it anywhere.
Objection!
The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection!
None of the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there. Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim, in an upright position. If it had somehow been toppled and was lying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body. It fell over when I came across the body. That was basically right next to the corpse, and on the other side of the room. In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory. Yes, it is. There's a very definite contradiction here, for which there must be a reason. I take it that you've formulated a proper hypothesis, Counsel. Regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene. I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the handprint is explained by the board moving, false testimony, another handprint. I think the board moving makes the most sense. As false testimony, they're not really like lying, they are misunderstanding. The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. As the court can see, it's upside down. Good gracious, so it is! The witness had put his hand against the board. The fingers should be pointing upwards. What does that tell us? It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor, as I previously suggested. Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved. What?
Objection!
You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who. I don't know that yet. But the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point. And that would be the position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord. So, counsel, I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court. At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated? Should have been here, right? Like around this area, because it hits the pool of blood. It would have to be here, right?
Take that!
This is the only possible location.
immediately adjacent to the doorway.
If the court would think back on the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark, and he couldn't see the body.
But by heck!
The notice board had been there. The body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light for the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear dark.
Objection.
And the accused also claims that the victim's body simply appeared before him? That's true, or in his precise words. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open. I heard a man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Grayson appeared before me.
I know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me, and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked that door open.
You look again at the floor plan. Consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. That can't be! The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible.
Good gracious!
My client has told nothing but the truth. He is simply describing what he saw.
Order! Counsel, how has this not come to light before now?
After the incident, somebody must have righted the door board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it when investigating the room.
Witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
What? Me, my lord? You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
A witness at the stand will testify again. We'll each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime. Stop looking over me, your glasses at me. I get the message.
Well, next time we'll understand the mystery of the moving board. But until then, though, thank you all for watching. Sayonara. Bye-bye. Mwah.